Hey everyone, it's been a while. I know I basically disappeared from YouTube for about a year, so I wanted to quickly explain why before we jump into today's video. Over the last year, I've been fully focused on game development. I co-founded an indie horror company alongside two incredibly talented people. And what started as an idea gradually grew into an amazing team and a fully playable demo. The project is still ongoing and making great progress, so if you'd like to follow the development of Black Tide's Dragon's Wake, you'll find links to the Strange Creature Factory social media in the description below. Check them out cause we will be teasing a lot of insane stuff there. I've also recently launched a Patreon where I'll be sharing some of the projects and systems featured on this channel. I'll talk a bit more about this at the end of the video, but you'll find the link in the description if you're interested. Now, enough talking. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a dynamic reticle system in Unreal Engine 5. While I've shown versions of this system before, I've rebuilt it from scratch, in a fresh project based on the Mover game animation sample, and added a few improvements, including a The Last of Us style reticle and a rifle one. You can follow this tutorial to create it for your own game, or if you'd like to simply get the complete project and support me, you'll be able to find it on my Patreon. Now, let's get started. First, we create a folder here. You can name it however you want. And we need to create a widget. I already have it created, so just name it dynamic reticle or crosshair or however you want. We also need a enumeration. You can create one like this. Go into blueprint enumeration and you open it. Create three display names, classic, circle, and triple. And now we have everything that we need. So we come here to the dynamic crosshair, to the designer, and we add a canvas panel. Then we add a border into it. Ignore these ones because I already have them. But you add a border, normal border, and you name it top, for example, and add another one inside of it, which is this one. Then you come here into the anchors and click on medium and set everything to 0, even the alignment. Then you come here into padding and simply put 1. And then we duplicate this 3 times, name it bottom, left, and right. And an image, we also need an image, which is simply come here, put image, name it circle crosshair. And well, I use this one. I can leave this in the description in a drive, but if you have one circle image, it's just a floating circle, PNG, so you can use whatever, and just plug it here. The image size doesn't matter, I just have these values, and the size, it doesn't matter neither. Remember to also do the anchor thing. And now we need 3 more images. But these ones, just name it, I named it triple, but you can name it like AK-47 or whatever, because this type of crosshair is similar to an AK. So choose your name and simply do the same, but leave the images with no brush for now. Alright, now we go into the graph. And we need these variables. I have it organized, like I have categories, so don't mind them. You can create these or simply press add and start typing. So all you need is a float, which is going to be 15 of value, then crosshair type, which is going to be this enumeration we just created, then the base circle, the length, which is 6, thickness going to be 2.5, face circle size 24, max circle size 32. This basically control the size of the PNG of the circle. So if you want more or less values, you can change them in here. This controls the size, the spread, and this controls the, like, basically clamps it, so it doesn't allow more than 32. And these 2 are for the length and thickness of the lines for the triple crosshair. These ones are for the classic one. When you're done with the variables, you just need to come here to event construct and press create a function here, create, and you just call it initialize, and you call it here on construct. This function just basically switches over crosshair type to detect if we want to use the classic, the circle, or the triple. And remember these values, like just pause the video and start hiding and unhiding stuff. All this does is, if I'm going to use the classic, I need to set these visible, which are the 4 lines for the classic one, and hide these ones. The circle, just put this into visible and hide all these ones. And the triple, I just want to see the triple lines, these 3, and then hide everything else. Then we come here into Eventic, and then we switch again over a crosshair type. And if it's classic, we need to do some calculations to match the thickness we want and the length we want for the lines. First, with the bottom, you just do slot as canvas slot and set its size with these values. Then you do these calculations to match the position you want, and it's basically repeating everything over bottom and top and right and left. So just copy the values. But what if it's the circle one? Well, the circle, we just again slot as canvas slot and set its size. And what do we want here? The spread clamped, obviously. We just, sorry, this is stupid, I don't know why it's there. You just add it to the base circle size, and those are the 2 values. Since it's a circle, you don't need to be x different than the y. And what if it's triple? Then we triple left first. It doesn't matter actually the order, but I started with this one. Again, the same. You do these calculations, copy everything. Y to 0, triple right, y to 0. With these values, remember to use triple length, not the normal length. This is for the classic, and here too. We only use the spread for everything, but the rest is separated logic. And then the triple bottom with the thickness and triple length different than the other ones, because I want the bottom line to be a little bit shorter, you know. Actually, I forgot something. When you create the crosshair type, you need to check these boxes, instance editable, and expose them on spawn. Because we need to, when we construct the widget, and here I have the logic for it in the mover character, but remember, you can use this logic in every player, every character BP. So you just, if you have an aim logic, when it starts, this is a collapsed graph, you just create the dynamic crosshair widget, and you can create it like this, create widget. You set this value that we just created, and you, if you don't want to do the collapsed graph thing, you can do here, like select with a Dropbox, whatever you want. So we check if it's valid first, and if it's not valid, you create it just in case, because we don't want the widget being created twice or more than twice. Then we set the value in a variable. We just promote it to variable. I already have it, so I don't need it. Add it to viewport and create a timeline. Okay, this timeline, I have these values but you can control them. Like you can change these. I have the spread. You can create a flow track, call it spread. This is basically what I did here. And if you shift click, you add 2 points, and the values are these ones, 0 and 45, and at the time of 0.7 seconds, value is 6, which basically means when you aim, the reticle is going to be spread out, and slowly it's going to be pointing towards the center of the screen. Okay, so you just use the values you want, but I created this. I don't need this one. And the pin is going to be exposed here, so you can use it to control the spread. So now, for my project, I used the speed to also spread out the reticle, meaning you're going to be it's going to be harder to shoot when you move. So if you don't want this, you just plug this into here, like update into checking if it's valid, and set the spread to be this one. If you want this, then get the speed from your character, and if you're using the CMC normal pawn, you gotta do this instead. You would plug this into true or false, into a branch, and if it's true, you interpolate to 45, which is basically spreading out the reticle again, so you're moving, and the current will be the normal spread you have right now, the variable. You get the world delta seconds, and the speed you can control it here. Then again, if you moved, you set the spread again and set the playback position to 0. Oh, and don't forget to basically get rid of the crosshair when you don't need it. When you stop pressing aim button, when it's completed, the input, you basically remove it from the parent and set the reference to be null. Finally, 2 more things. If you want to swap the reticle in the middle of the gameplay, you can simply take the reference, set it to be the one you want, like the crosshair type, and don't forget to initialize again. That's basically it. So you come here. Well, also I want to show you the firing logic. If you have a shooting logic, you can set it to the timeline we created, which is this one. This name you have here, you search it. For me it's like this, reticle timeline. You get if it's valid, and if it's valid, then you set the playback position to 0.1. What this does is basically it spreads out the reticle again, like when we move, but only for a split of a second when we shoot. And this is my basic logic to just fire. It's really basic. And that's it for today. If you'd like access to complete Unreal 5 projects and gameplay systems, check out my Patreon in the description. I'll also be sharing some new projects with C++ systems I've been working on recently, including a plug-and-play procedural dismemberment component or a highly customizable C++ heat reaction component.